In this video, we want to ask the question whether 8 gigabytes of RAM, single stick, in single channel operation on a budget device such as this one here, enough out of the box for AAA gaming in the end of 2023. I have here the Lenovo LOQ 15. This is their budget offering now, their budget line of devices. It's a new brand that Lenovo has conjured up for this year in 2023, but this is supposed to be their budget offering, which gives you a balance of value, price, but still the ability to have an all-around multimedia laptop that can have the ability to play games. So this is equipped with a 4050, and the claim to fame here is that single stick of 8 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. Let's hop in and take a look at that quickly. And we can see here that we've got a single stick out of 2 slots. This is a SODIMM. Thankfully, Lenovo did provide us a 5600 megahertz module, which means we can pop in another module for 16 gigabytes of RAM. I do have another module of 8 gigabytes coming in a couple of days, so stay tuned for a follow-up video to this about what the difference is between 8 gigabytes versus 16 gigabytes for RAM for gaming purposes. So there'll be a follow-up video coming very soon, but let's jump into a few games here and look at what the actual gameplay performance is like, and can we actually play AAA games at the end of 2023 on a budget device such as the LOQ 15 with only single channel 8 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. One more thing to state here is that Lenovo Vantage is a software that's used to administer this laptop. So setting up your overclocks, changing different performance files, it can be managed through here. So on the LOQ 15, I'll be doing all of these tests in performance mode, and we'll be talking about some of the other modes and stuff in a later review video. All right, the first game we'll look at here is Assassin's Creed Mirage. This is a recent release from Ubisoft and the newest addition to my roster. So if we look at the settings here, there's no FPS limits applied. We're playing at the native 1080p resolution of this panel, and VSync is turned off. In the graphics settings here, we're using the very high preset. There's a lot of presets in this particular game, but beyond high, I think they start to make very little actual difference in the visual quality of the game. And you can see here and down in the corner, we're using about 4.5 or 4.7 gigs out of the 6 gigs of VRAM on this particular game. So that's actually pretty decent in terms of the 4050. You can have a really nice gameplay experience with this. We've also enabled DLSS tech because it supports all kinds of upscaling tech. You've enabled DLSS and put it into quality mode. You can also go into other modes here if you want more performance, but keep in mind that they will result in quality degradation and fidelity reduction as you play the game. So that said, let's jump in here and we'll just kind of wander around for a minute or so and let's see what that looks like. We'll also pop open our stats and we'll check how the system RAM usage fares as well as the GPU RAM usage as we run around and play this game. So, are you playing this game? Let me know in the comments below. By the way, also keep in mind that I'm game streaming these games, the latest AAA games, on my channel live almost daily, and you can catch gameplay sessions there. I usually play for about an hour or so and multiple games every day. So please come and check out and get subscribed to my channel to stay tuned for more of that footage. So as you can see here, we're playing just fine. Let's pop open our stats. And we'll see here that we're using 97% of that VRAM, even though the game stated it's only using 4.7 gigabytes. So don't let that fool you. Sometimes the game engine will not give you the complete picture of how much RAM the game actually needs to run during runtime. So that's it here. We're definitely exhausting that VRAM, the 6 gigs on the RTX 4050, but it doesn't mean that we can't actually play this game. As you can see here, with a single stick of 8 gigabytes, we're nearly exhausting our single stick, single channel DDR5 8 gigs at 5600 megahertz as well, but which shows still about 0.75 gigabytes. Keep in mind that Windows uses what's called virtual page files and virtual memory to help with offset some of the memory limitations, so you don't often get a clear picture of how much system RAM you actually need. But the point of this video and the point of this test is, can we play this game? And as you can see here, I'm able to come in and comfortably play this game without issue at a comfortable and enjoyable frame rate without having to throw any more money at it. So I think we'll just stop the frame rates there, or this test there, and let's jump into our next game. All right, and our next game, here we are now. This is Cyberpunk 2077, and as you can see here that we can definitely play this game as well. And we'll show you here the settings that I'm playing with this game. So I'm at 1080p, the native resolution of the display. We've got reflex turned on. As for the graphics, it states custom, but this really is a combination of ultra settings. So if you go over to ultra, let me just demonstrate by defaulting these. I'm playing here on Ultra. Keep in mind that for some reason, Cyberpunk defaults to having the fidelity FX turn on as well, even though I'm on an NVIDIA GPU. Make sure you turn this off, and then with frame generation turned on and DLSS super resolution set to quality mode, you can have a very nice and enjoyable gameplay experience here. So I'm playing on Ultra here on the 1080p display. It is a little bit of stuttery because keep in mind we're looking at 99% of the RAM usage on the 4050. That 6 gigabytes of VRAM is definitely being exhausted and becoming a bottleneck here. And that's the reason why you'll see some stuttery gameplay initially for the first minute or so before the game starts to settle in and you get some pretty smooth gameplay. That said, the DLSS and the frame generation tech really help out here. This is a very taxing game to begin with, and just to be able to run this even at 1080p resolution is a real challenge. So the fact that the 4050 can actually deliver with a single channel at 8 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM stick is very impressive indeed. So can you play Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty on the 4050 with 8 gigs, single channel RAM? The answer is yes. Alright, and finally for the final test here, this is Apex Legends, and as you can see here that I'm able to play this game just fine. And this is basically running on the default recommended settings. I have not tweaked any of the settings or boosted them further, just playing in squad mode here and getting very comfortable frame rates. You can see here that this game fares a little bit better. Some of these games are optimized more than some of the AAA titles because they just get so many more updates and constantly getting content updates as well as patches and fixes. So that's partly the reason why we have much better gameplay experience on these games. They're also very widely adopted, so we have a lot higher player base in these games. But as you can see here that we've got very nice respectable looking gameplay here, and we're only using about half of that VRAM. So if you're looking for just a little bit of competitive one, which is probably more so with the budget student and a younger audience of my channel and a consumer of these laptop devices, then keep in mind that you do have that capability definitely to be able to play the game. So you won't have any issues with playing that. And if we look at that system RAM there, we're doing a little bit better, about 2 gigabytes free. 2 gigabytes of free. Hang on there. Gotta take out some enemies. Stop jumping. Oh, really? Haha. Oh, we're out of ammo. Alright, well, we'll end the session there. But basically, I just wanted to demonstrate that it is indeed possible. And I think we'll stop the video there. So with the 4050, you can definitely play some shooters, competitive multiplayer games as well. And we're doing pretty good here. So let's jump into a quick conclusion before we end this video. Alright, to summarize here, I think the 4050 in this laptop, the Lenovo LOQ 15, which is a very budget-oriented offering with 6 gigabytes of VRAM and a single channel DDR5 8 gigabyte RAM stick, you are able to pretty much jump in and play any game. There's no restriction whatsoever. It doesn't matter if you're playing a AAA title or an online free-to-play game or a multiplayer competitive shooter. Now, you will have to tweak with some of the settings, and we'll get to a lot of that discussion in the full review coming very soon on this channel. So please get subscribed, help spread this channel and this content across your social media channels to help grow this particular channel. And also keep in mind that on this channel, I'm now doing live daily gameplay streams. So you'll see AAA games and the games that I'm interested in, latest releases as gameplay series on this particular channel. So get subscribed, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment below if you found this video helpful, if there's other things you'd like for me to test with the LOQ 15, and we'll see you in the next video.